The final rays of sun bled through the towering pines, painting long shadows across the forest floor. Elias checked his watch. 6:17 p.m. Darkness would fall quickly, and he was hopelessly lost. He'd veered off the trail hours ago, chasing a flash of blue. A bluebird, he thought, though now it seemed more like a cruel trick of the fading light. Panic, cold and clammy, tightened its grip. His phone was dead. He was alone, or so he thought. He heard it first, a faint rustling, too deliberate to be an animal. A twig snapped, then another, closer this time. Elias's heart hammered against his ribs. He strained his ears, trying to decipher the sound above the frantic drumming of his own blood. The rustling stopped. Silence, thick and heavy, pressed down on him. He stood frozen, every muscle coiled tight. Then, through the gloom, he saw it. A pair of eyes, glowing faintly in the twilight. They weren't animal eyes. They were too large, too intelligent, reflecting the dying light with an unnerving luminescence. Fear, raw and primal, flooded him. He backed away slowly, his eyes fixed on the glowing orbs. Slowly, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was tall and gaunt, its form indistinct in the deepening darkness. But the eyes, those eyes, held him captive. They seemed to pierce through him, to understand his fear, his isolation, his utter helplessness. The figure didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there, watching. Time stretched, each second an eternity. The clock in Elias's mind ticked down, each number a hammer blow against his sanity. He was sure he would die here, alone, in the cold embrace of the woods, watched by this thing. He closed his eyes, bracing for the inevitable. Then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the figure vanished. The only sound was the whisper of the wind through the trees. Elias opened his eyes, his breath catching in his throat. He was still alive. He didn't know what he had seen, but he knew one thing. He wasn't alone. Not anymore. He spent the rest of the night huddled beneath a pine, the chilling memory of the glowing eyes keeping him company. As dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange, he stumbled upon the trail, his body exhausted, his mind reeling. He never spoke of what he saw that night, but the forest, once a place of peace and solitude, was forever changed for him. The woods held a secret, and he knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, that he was not the only one who knew it.